Hey everybody, this is Perch. We'll get right into this mail. It's the aftermath of the election. Not talking about the election, but the mail touches on it. But to try and timestamp this, more and more videos are showing up now from pre-election. So you're definitely going to get some videos in the future where it's talking about you know, Biden's health, and I make a joke about it, um, which is going to be really terrible because here's what I worry about. To be honest, is that I record some video, like say back in May, and I know there's some videos still left to be released from May. All right. And in the video, I'm going to say something about, I'm going to make some dumb joke about, Biden getting old and it's like a weekend at Bernie's thing. It's going to be like just a dumb, like corpse joke. And then the video will get, delayed, and we'll release like in December. And Biden will have tragically died. And then this video is going to really, really bad taste. I worry about that. There was a video out where I made some crack about Sid Vicious, the wrestler. And again, he was alive when I made that video. This is the problem with my whole setup and format. Anyway, let me read this mail, and we'll get to it. It says, Dear Perch, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of comic creators are talking about leaving Twitter and going to Bluesky. Haven't they? They've been talking about this for a long time now, haven't they? Anyway. Or, well, whatever. Leave you for Bluesky. Anyway, I was thinking maybe this is a solution to the fan and creator conflict. Everyone has their own space, similar to how it was in the 70s and the 80s before social media existed. The creators can spaz out over there. Nobody will know. The fans can be pissed about something and the creators will never know. Is this the place? Is this the place? Is this the place for Nirvana? Okay. Is this the place for Nirvana? Maybe it's better if creators and fans just don't mix. What do you think? Is this the solution that we have been waiting for? All right. Well, okay. I don't, no, it's not the solution we've been waiting for. I don't know. I mean, look, you got a bunch of grown adults. Like, this channel isn't for children. We're not all taught, like the creators aren't 12 and you, the customer, aren't, 10. And we're grown adults. The vast majority of everyone involved in all this, maybe not mentally, but certainly, by age, physically, we're grown adults. And so the idea that, grown adults can't, be in the same proximity as each other without being nuts is sad. And keep in mind, totally understand. You could see a lot of this coming. You could see it with sports fans. The I don't know what's the big. I haven't invested in Texas football. The very intensity around Texas sports is like it is poison for me. I try to get away from it as fast as humanly possible. But let's say that Seahawks and the 49ers are a rivalry. And, you get Seahawks fans and 49ers fans in the same room. And generally speaking, they'll make cracks at each other, but everybody's more or less fine. And then you get every now and then you get a handful of fans that just can't coexist and they freak out and just cause shit for everybody. And then this has evolved to politics. Politics is the new sports now, where people just can't coexist in the same location anymore. They're just going to, be rabidly angry at each other for having kind of different politics, even though half the time they don't even understand what those politics means. But these are children. This is like childish children behavior. It's not, these are not grown adults anymore. If you can't find yourself in the same room for somebody who is a Democrat and you're a Republican, or vice versa, if you're a Democrat and you think the Republican's going to go out there and murder your family just for funsies, that's not, it's no longer an adult person there with that kind of mentality. And so if you continue to expand that to the culture war, if you can't tolerate somebody who likes the Snow White remake movie, or here's a Marvel fan and a DC fan, and it's gone from a rivalry, just kind of a bickering at each other, which superhero is stronger, into full blown warfare. Or you like mainstream comics, well, you must be a cuck, or you're a fan who likes crowdfunded books, you must be a Nazi. I mean, come on, those aren't serious people. No, those people are serious people, and it's probably best for everybody to stop pretending that they are. Um, so the idea that the solution has to be everybody go to a separate, isolated, segregated corner of the universe, and that's the only way they could coexist. It's pathetic. It's pathetic if that's how it has to be, and it won't work. So here's a dirty little secret, and it goes along the lines of the "they don't hate you" kind of stuff that drives people crazy. The creators can't help themselves. They're talking about the people who are the noisiest, and like, let me give you some perspective, okay? Right now, on any given moment, there's 500, 600 more creators in comics. I mean, just do the math with me for a minute. You've got 500 comic books coming out a month, okay? Each one of those comic books has a writer and artist. Now, certainly, one writer does multiple books and so on, and a colorist will do multiple things. But when you get all down to it, there's about probably more now, probably about 750 to 1,000 people involved in comic books every month. Okay, of those 750 to 1,000 people, how many are being whack jobs on social media? How many of those creators? It's less than 50. It's a relatively small amount. That means, if you're just doing, math, if you're doing statistics, it means the vast majority of creators are just, fucking doing their jobs, trying to get paid, maybe doing commissions, maybe who knows what they're doing. But they're not on social media spazzing out. They're just, they're just trying to get paid. They're just trying to do their job. That is, that is the vast majority. It's 90% of the people out there. Now, for some reason, I've said this before, and other YouTubers have flipped out at it. And I don't know why. It's not a controversial or, crazy take. It is, just go look for yourself. Look at the amount of people making comments, being nuts. And quite frankly, some of the people who are the most nuts are not actually making regular comics. It's like, oh, Tess Fowler. Yeah, that's a crazy person for sure. Alex DeCampi, crazy person. Neither one of them is actively making comics month in, month out. They're doing stuff, but it's hard to call them a full timer. I mean, but I think they think they're full time, but their work is not full time because people aren't employing them. But anyway, it's a relatively small amount. But here's the secret: that small amount of people, the Mark Brooks, the people who will go out and flip out and make crazy comments, Heather Antos, they have Bluesky. They have the ability to go there. They won't stay there. It's the people who are talking about, I'm going to go over here because Twitter is a cesspool. Okay, but you won't stay there. You will, it will be, you'll have a week or two of like, man, everything's perfect over here. Thank God we're not over there with all those incels over on Twitter anymore. Woof. I'm glad. Isn't that Elon Musk the worst? Yes, he is. Fuck that guy. Yep. I wonder what's going on over on X. Let's go see. They will go poke. Look at Mags, whether, however you feel about Mags. And I would say Mags posted that baseball bat to the teeth post and got a ton of people going, just attacking it. And you could make an argument that, okay, after, whatever, months and months and months of that, people should let it go. You don't need to, let me give you my hot take on Mag shouldn't have posted baseball bat to the teeth. Yeah, fine. But, 6 months later, it's like, okay, we've got it. We got it. But whenever it would quiet down for Mags, whenever Mags would, there'd be less people, posting stuff. And Mags would like come in and post something insane. Because the attention was so good, even though the attention was bad, the attention was good. It's like, Joe Glass, when he will post stuff about, my life, should I even do comics anymore? I don't know. Maybe I should do some sweaty, oiled up, male, nudie photos on OnlyFans. Like, even when, like, that's crazy stuff. Why would you post that? You post it because it gets attention, and you're not an idiot. When you post that it's going to get the wrong kind of attention. It's going to get people who are like, hey, crazy psycho. That's what they know it. They can't help themselves. The people, the 25, 30, 40 people who are the biggest loudmouths, the biggest crazies that, lots of culture warriors do videos on and go after, are as addicted to the system as anyone else. That's why one another reason why it often transcends hate for fans is because it's an addiction. They have to have the attention. A lot of people involved in this have to have the attention. That's why whenever it goes quiet, people like look around desperate to find a feud. I can always tell when things in comics are going relatively okay because some of these people will come at me because I am not a great, I'm far from a great opponent in the culture war. I don't record regularly. My voice sucks. There's a lot. I mean, I'm not popular. None of this stuff is true. So when they're like, Perch is an asshole, I'm like, oh man, things in comics must be pretty good because literally they've gone down the list of like, okay, what can I go after today? I don't know, a Perch. I guess we've landed on Perch. And by the way, a much more eloquent version of what I'm saying right now was in the last interview with Sean Murphy. So go listen to the last interview with Sean Murphy, or as I like to say, the interview where a couple assholes just decided that the thing they wanted to take from an hour of pretty interesting conversation was they're a lesbian in the book. So go listen to that one because in that video, we talk about this exact thing, the addiction, and the fact that there's not many comic creators that have this addiction, but the ones that do are loud. And so it definitely feels like, there's just a overwhelming majority of comic creators who are just, spazzing out, but really it's the same dumb voices over and over again. And Bluesky is not going to help that. Now, if you could take those 40 or 50 people and put them in a mental institution, then maybe, maybe we'd be better off. But the reality is, that it won't help. Going to another spot is not going to make a difference because they won't stay there because they need that drama more than anything else. They need to have this fight. They need to have people attacking them. I can tell you with 100%, not just certainty, I know it. They've bragged about it. That, like Heather Antos, I can tell you direct will go onto YouTube searching her name, looking for people who are, quote unquote, attacking her and listen to it like an addiction. Absolutely. I will also tell you that when it gets quiet, when like nobody they forget about Heather Antos for a while, she gets edgy and starts like poking the bear to get people to talk about her. That's it. It just is what it is. That's the problem. It's not Twitter or Bluesky or any of that. It's just that it's such a dopamine rush to get insulted online that people are addicted to it, unfortunately. And that's just the world we're stuck in. I don't know. It's as simple as that. Yeah, go listen to that Sean Murphy interview. It's a good one, and he lays it out really, really nice, and it's a good conversation to have. I am pissed that the thing that again, it was like people were itching for a fight. We put that video out at a time when things were too calm because immediately it got to he said there's a lesbian in the book. It was like 45 seconds of an hour plus interview. And the sad part is I got my big Zorro hardcover from his crowdfunding and I was going through it. It's beautiful. The art's great. And you have a guy here who, actually does try and talk to people, actually does come on and say, yeah, some of these points that, Culture Wars are making, they're valid. Some of this stuff is wrong. Like you have somebody who's actually trying to talk to you. Unlike a lot of these other people, here's somebody who's actually trying to consider opinions. And instead it became he said there's a lesbian and South Park did a chick and gay in it. And therefore, woke. And, I'm looking through this comic and I'm like, oh man, thank goodness there's all these pages of scissoring in this book. Cause I definitely wanted my Zorro to have lots of no, there's none. There's like, if anything, you could make the comment to Sean of like, it's a completely irrelevant plot point that the sister of Zorro is lesbian. Completely irrelevant. Doesn't play into the plot in any way. Barely touched on. Listen, I'm going to go through that comic and I'm going to count the panels. Because I posted the photo of that hardcover up, and it's sure enough, you got all these people posted like, that's the one with the lesbian in it. It's like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, what are you going to do? No, Bluesky, look, it's, I guess my point here, too long didn't read, although now you're at the end of it. It's pathetic that we're talking about grown adults needing to go into their respective corners in order to coexist because they're, too emotionally unstable to just be able to have a reasonable conversation with each other. That grown adults are not able to talk or at least, or not talk, do what the other 90% of comic creators are, which is put their heads down and just say, fuck it, I'm just going to do work. 90%. So it's grown adults can't talk, and thus going to but the whole plan doesn't work anyway, because nobody who's addicted to this bullshit is going to go off to Bluesky to live a happy life. They're going to get there, a week will go by, and they'll immediately start poking and wondering who's talking about them and why it's so quiet, and it will just continue. So the best thing to do is ignore. I'll give you this. If you're a comic book fan, this is like legit advice, okay? But you got to think about it differently. If you're a comic book fan and you just want to read comics, search your heart, because some of the people listening to you right now, you like the drama too. The comics gotten boring, and so the drama is more entertaining. That's fine. Again, I'm not judging you. I'm judging you if you spaz out like a weirdo, but I'm not judging you if drama, online drama, is more entertaining than comics. Some of these comics are terrible. But if you just want good comics and you just want to hear comics, you don't want all the rest of this stuff, then, go on social media, specifically go on Twitter or Bluesky, wherever you happen to be. And anyone who talks about things not comics related, I mean, you could do a 3 strikes you're out rule or something, but more than 3 times, block or mute. They'll never know you blocked them. Like if you, like Stephen King. Okay, Stephen King posted like lunatic stuff before the election, just over the top lunatic stuff. And I would see it come in my feed back when I was actually on Twitter. And so I just blocked him. Now, he will never know that I blocked him, and I don't care. I don't need him to know. I just wanted it out of the algorithm. I wanted it out of my feed. And sure enough, I got very aggressive with a lot of people who, again, will never know. Republicans and Democrats, particularly around the election, the influencers, that Harry Stinson and Benny, whatever that guy. I mean, just some of these people who would show up in my feed because people I'm friends with clearly liked it. So then the algorithm was recommending it to me. I just blocked all of them. They never will know, but the algorithm gets it. And fairly soon, it starts weeding it out. My Twitter feed goes back to what I want it to be, porn. And then, I'm happy. So give it a shot. Anyway, thanks for listening.